98 Honda Civic. I'm going to replace the ignition switch because the car just decides to cut off and on when trying to start the car. Sometimes it'll start, sometimes it won't, but when it does not start, you turn the ignition, it runs for a split second or so, shuts right off. That is the ignition switch. Number one is we're going to disconnect the hot cable on the battery. So that's the cable we're going to remove, and you see all that corrosion, so we're obviously going to clean all that up. Alright, so a 10mm wrench, loosen this right here, and then stick your screwdriver in there and just kind of loosen that a little bit, then you can pull the terminal right off. So just grab a little wire brush or something like that. If you don't have that, sandpaper will work. And let's get these shining again, and then we're going to clean this one up. And don't forget to clean your connectors too. You should be able to see the copper. Should be nice and shiny inside. Copper shine. Put it back together, and our next step is going to remove this access here to the fuse box and this shroud here underneath the steering wheel. And we're going to use a Phillips screwdriver to do that. We can just press that in and we can get these plugs out of the way. Like that. Boom, there's one. Two. And the last screw. Okay, the shroud's a little harder to take apart. You're going to want to, on this section here, you push it and we'll get this clip off, and then you can see you got a quick release here. So right there's the quick release, and you can do the same to the other side. And once you have it unsnapped, it just pops right off. You might have to wrestle with it a little bit. Don't wrestle too hard with it. Make sure you release those clips. And then the top section comes right off. And now we have access. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lower the tilt wheel. We got tilt on this one. Alright, so there it is. There's our ignition switch. There's the old one. And there's the new one, as you can see. And we're only going to need a Phillips screwdriver to take these two screws out. And then we're going to have to disconnect the harness. Alright, there's our second screw. Just going to pull out. There's a tie strap holding that right there. It's holding the wiring harness. And you want to snap that. Get that out of the way. There's another tie strap right there. Let's get this tie strap here. Just snip that. Now, you just gotta follow it back. There's a brown one right there we gotta pull out. And then we have one right there. A little clip on the top of that socket. Make sure you press this down and then pull it out. Boom. So press it down and pull. Ba-boom. And now the same thing on this one. So press that down. Boom. Let press down and then just pull right out. And it's hot, but it's all good because we're going to accomplish this mission. So once you got that, you can start to pull the wires out this way. You've got one more tie strap holding that one. Boom. So the next step is just feed this wiring harness through here and pull it through. Now something important to realize, okay, the knee switch does not come with these two wires in it. So we're going to have to pull these two wires out and install it in the new socket. And we're going to want to note what socket it came from. We should be able to release those from here. So it means we're going to have to cut this tape off here so we don't pull the whole assembly out. So let's cut this and then we can continue to. So cut that tape on top too, like that. And now, so we don't want to rip this totally apart. Pull it through there. Voila, there's our ignition switch. However, notice we do have this wire hanging that did not come as part of our new setup. So we're going to have to pull those out and put them in the proper socket. So ideally you put the identical sockets next to each other so that you do not screw up. And now we'll proceed to pull those wires out and put them in the other socket. We're getting ready to storm here again. We are having a rain delay. Okay, so you need to pull this lock out. This locks the wires in. And the tab is right on the side, which I'll show you on the new one. Right there. You're going to push that in on both sides with a tiny screwdriver and pull that out. In there to release the wires, and that's our next step, to get those two. So instead of wrestling, if you don't have the right tool to get this out of the socket, just take a pair of dikes and just cut it and then pull it out, because you're not going to use this old socket again anyway. Slide it into the new switch after you remove that white lock and push it all the way in until you hear click. 259,000 miles on this baby, and it runs beautiful. There's the wires transferred to the new switch, and we just got to put our lock down in there, and just make sure you push it all the way down so that our locks are on both sides. Now you are ready to install your new switch. Yeah. Alright, so feed one clip first through here. Once you've got that fed most of the way through, work on your second one. And there you go, you got them both fed through. Now it'll be installed. Alright, just put everything back together. Make sure you tie strap the wires back in with all the supplied tie straps that'll come with your kit. So before we put this console back together, we're going to make sure it starts. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Yeah, mission accomplished. So there's the part number. It was a 18-0636. So this is definitely an off-brand, not Honda, but cleverly worded. Gotta give them credit for that. I think it was $46 to reword that. The new switch was $46.99 plus tax.